Hey everybody, it's me, Mr. Doublestein, and today I'm gonna blow your mind. Did you know that almost all the music you've ever heard has been made up of only 12 notes? That's right, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of songs, all written using just 12 notes or less. Guys, today we're gonna be talking about scales. And a scale is just a group of notes. That's right, scales are groups of notes, and you can have different kinds of scales. There's three main ones. First is called a chromatic scale, and this has 12 notes. Let me show you on a piano how a chromatic scale works. This is my piano. Now, you see a lot of different notes. In fact, there's 88 notes on a piano, but they're repeated. It's really only 12. Let me prove it. Let's start right here at the blue tape. From this piece of blue tape to this piece of blue tape, there are 12 notes. And everything going on beyond that is just repeated. The same 12 notes. Here, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My friends, it's just 12 notes. The 12 notes of the chromatic scale. But the thing is that usually, at least in most music, we don't use all 12. In fact, we like to use just 7. And those 7 notes are called the diatonic scale. That's right, diatonic scale is just 7 notes. On a piano, you could start anywhere you want, but if I start right on this blue tape and I use just the white keys, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this grouping of 7 notes is very pleasing to the ear. That's why most music you hear is written in a diatonic scale, using only 7 notes. But we can go a step further, because if you do 12 minus 7, what do you get? You get 5. And 5 notes together is called a pentatonic scale. And pentatonic scales only are 5 notes. Now look at this. If I were to just use the black notes on the piano, between the tape here, we would get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to review, you've got the chromatic scale, which is all 12 notes. Then you've got a diatonic scale, which is the most common. That's 7 notes. And if you go even further, you can get a pentatonic scale, which is 5 notes. The next question you might ask yourself, though, is, well, which notes do you include in the scale? Well, for a chromatic scale, it's really easy. You just use all of them, okay? But let's talk about a diatonic scale. You see, when we use diatonic scales, we use a pattern with whole steps and half steps. And you gotta know the difference, okay? A whole step means you go from one note past another note to a next note. So you're basically skipping a note for a whole step. For half steps, you're going straight from one note to the other. They're right next to each other. Whole steps are right next to each other, half steps are right next to each other. Whole steps involve a skip past the note. Now what we can do is we can take these whole steps and half steps and create a pattern. And this pattern, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, is called a major scale. And we love major scales in music. We use them all the time. So if I do a whole note, or a whole, a half, a whole, 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 half, those intervals, then you're gonna get a beautiful sound. Would you like to hear one? This is a C major scale. We'll start on the C. From here to here is a whole step. From here to here is a whole step. This is a half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And lots of songs are made using that diatonic scale, the C scale, like Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Or Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Okay, or many others. Now, I don't have to start here. I could start on any note I want. So let's say, for example, I wanted to play starting on this note. This is an F, and if I do the same pattern, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, you see that I used a black note because sometimes you can mix the notes. It depends on what scale you're in. So for an F scale, you'll use both. For a G scale, you'll use both. For an A scale, for a B scale, it all follows the same pattern using whole steps, half steps, and this very important pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Most of the music you ever hear on the radio, or that you sing in church, or anything like that is used with the diatonic 7-note scale. But I really like the pentatonic scale. So let's take a little field trip. You see, the 7 notes in the diatonic scale using solfege are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Or, looking up here, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Now, of course, I have do up here, but that's just repeated. It was just like the piece of blue tape on the piano. Is this distracting? Is this distracting? It's just, I mean, handsome guy back there, right? Nice bow tie too, pal. But what I'm trying to get at here is that solfege can fit perfectly within our diatonic scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Those 7 pitches, okay? But for pentatonic, we only have 5 pitches. We need to get rid of 2 of these. Well, which ones do we lose? Fa and ti. If you get rid of fa and ti, you have a pentatonic scale. That's right, guys. Do, re, mi, so, and la. And of course, the do just repeats, okay? Do, re, mi, so, la. Do, re, mi, so, la. That's pentatonic. Okay, back to the piano. I told you before that the black notes are in groups of 5, a pentatonic scale. You see, if you start here on an F sharp, that would be do, re, mi, so, and la. We skipped fa, and we skipped ti. So we have do, re, mi, so, la. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same thing can be seen on an Orff instrument, like a xylophone. Now, if we were to just look at the letters on this particular instrument, you'll notice that again, we're in a group of 7 or a diatonic scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what happens here? They just repeat, just like on a piano. C, D, E, F, G, A. And if the instrument makers would have kept going, there would have been a B. But they didn't. They just made it with 13 notes, and that's okay. Again, they're the 7 diatonic notes repeated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and, well, 7. Okay, now, if we want to convert this xylophone from a diatonic instrument, a 7-note instrument, into a pentatonic instrument, a 5-note instrument, we need to remove a few notes. And those notes are Fa and Ti. So let's start here and say this is Do, Do, Re, Mi, Fa. We need to get rid of the F. So, La, Ti, and the B. Now keep going. Do, Re, Mi, Fa. Get rid of the F. So, La, Ti. Well, we don't have a B. If we did, we would take it off. This, my friends, is an instrument set up in C pentatonic. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes there. And now we can improvise. We can play any notes we want within this scale. Will sound good. Pentatonic! Okay, so now let's go back to the piano. This is my little piano diagram. We've got the white keys down here and the black keys up here. Let's talk just for a minute about what exactly the black notes are. See, the black notes have 2 different names. They can be a sharp or a flat. And each black note can actually be both a sharp and a flat. Now, a sharp looks like this. It's almost like a hashtag or a number sign. And what this does is it raises a note by half a step. So, for example, if we are right here on the note C, and we want to go up not all the way to a D, but halfway up, just one step, we call that a C sharp. But that note also has a flat name. So right here, a flat, it almost looks like a slanted B. And a flat lowers a note by half a step. So if you're from a D and you're going the other way, that would be lowering down to a C. So that's a D flat. So the black notes actually have 2 different names, a sharp name and a flat name. If I were to fill in this whole chart, we'd have C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Let's do the sharps first. D going up would be a D sharp. An F going up would be an F sharp. A G going up is a G sharp. An A going up is an A sharp. Now let's go back the other way and do the flats. If you're at a B and you want to go down by half a step, you get a B flat, an A flat, a G flat, and an E flat. All right, guys, to summarize, a scale is a group of notes. In Western music, we have 12 notes in our chromatic scale. That's all of them. Here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 notes. Some of them are sharps. They're raised by half a step. Some of them are flats. They're lowered by half a step. If you want to make a grouping, you can do a diatonic scale. That's a group of 7 notes following this pattern for major scales. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Or another way to put it, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and ti. Go one step further and you'll get pentatonic scales. Pentatonic scales are groups of 5 notes. You're not going to be needing your fas or your tis. And to do it, of course, you have to understand how whole steps work and how half steps work. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if any of this makes sense to you. I certainly hope so. And at the very least, maybe you learned a thing or two about how music works. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day. Music's awesome!